Hello everyone, Ron here from RJJ's Reactions and back with Ren. And this time we're jumping forward because he just dropped a new song the other day, yesterday I believe, and it's called Suicide. So serious topic. I'm sure the lyrics are serious. I have not listened to it yet. I knew it was coming out, but I didn't have time to react to it until today. So I've held off. I'm going to listen to it for the first time with you and we will discuss the lyrics afterwards, as I usually do with Ren because he writes his own lyrics. So I am both looking forward to the song and a little bit nervous about it because I imagine it will hit hard. All right, let's go. Suicide by Ren.
Falling through the cracks of the night sky. A light goes out on the other side. Suicide, suicide, suicide. Oh, treading on the tracks in the night time. It never really felt like the right time. Suicide, suicide, suicide. I'm so fucking lonely beneath this. Narcissistic, can't keep a secret. Miscount sheep, but can't sleep, a misfit. Some say trouble, but some say sadistic. Bruises my brother, one time or the other. My skin felt counterfeit, silicone rubber. Bruises my sister, skin pop the blister. Dig deep, resist the feeling when it hits you. Falling through the cracks of the night sky. A light goes out on the other side. Suicide, suicide, suicide. Treading on the tracks in the night time. It never really felt like the right time. Suicide, suicide, suicide. Sick boy, bitten by a tick boy. I feel like it's not me, it's the world that's sick. I'm so fucking washed up and seasick. Masochistic kid with a split lip. 6 feet deep, I can't eat, I'm nervous. Won't stay down cause my body purges. Useless my mother, can't keep in my supper. Skin so pale cause my cheeks leak colour. Truth is my father, you choose your karma. Draw for the sword, then drive through the armour. Falling through the cracks of the night sky. A light goes out on the other side. Suicide, suicide, suicide. Treading on the tracks in the night time. It never really felt like the right time. Suicide, suicide, suicide. Suicide, suicide, suicide. Suicide, suicide, suicide. Suicide, suicide, suicide. Suicide, suicide, suicide.
It's hard to take off from the ground when your wings are cut. Your stomach burns when you're drinking from an empty cup. You know the entire ocean came from my tear ducts. I see the world through Fibonacci sequences and double dutch. I guess there's some that's born lucky, there's some that's not. I tried to cut away my bitterness, hatchet job. I locked my youth inside a trunk, inside a pickup truck, then dumped the whole thing over that same bridge the night you jumped. I think about that sometimes, vividly. What it felt like to look down and see tranquility. One sudden movement in a world of possibility. Only one movement to expose our fragility. I fucking miss you, and I miss myself. I miss thinking we were indestructible as well. I miss chilling by the pier cave and kicking back with Callum, Hugo, Sager, Justin, Stevie and the fucking lads. I miss missing that. I numb myself to close the gap. I never even call them up. The distance is my plaster cast. The truth is that the day you jumped, my childhood jumped too. But I still can't find that anger. All I find is missing you, man, I miss you. With all my rhymes, I picture running 5 minutes quicker, I'm right on time. I picture pulling you back over the edge and then we're crying, and holding you, my brother, and telling you that it's fine. Not the way that it worked, cause I was late like a jerk. There's not a day where I could find a way to break from the hurt. Your body missing, so we never got to wave to the hearse. I hope you're listening, I love you, man, I miss you absurd. Fuck.
Yeah, that hit hard. at the end particularly. I'm just going to back it up a little bit. Um, can never quite find where I'd like to stop here. There we go. But I still can't find the anger. All I find is missing. Well, we're going to look at the lyrics specifically, and I'm sure I'll have plenty to say. If you're not interested, I guess you can skip that part, but I hope you'll stick around and listen to it. Uh, Really well done video. I liked the sort of anime, uh, what do you call it, overlap or cover that they gave to it. I thought that was impressive, and very exciting in certain points. Incredibly sad all the way through, but at the end, it's when it really hit hard. And he had put a little bit of lightness in there. I don't know if you notice, we'll probably see it in the lyrics, because of the memories that he has with his friends. Um, but a very serious topic, obviously, and uh, Ren has dealt with it. I have dealt with it. I'm sure many of you have dealt with it one way or another, either through yourself or through others, and it can be very painful. He delivered it in a way that is entertaining and enjoyable, so you can, I think you can extract a lot out of this, and hopefully don't become depressed more. So it can be used as a catharsis for those who are depressed or anxious. It can sometimes, these kinds of songs and music, not just Ren's but others, can be helpful in that regard. But one always wants to be careful not to keep going down that deep dark hole only, to look for hope, to look for ways out of that as well. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that when we look at the lyrics. Let's have a look at the lyrics now. But Ren, you did an amazing job as always. I'm not surprised, because everything I've seen so far has been astounding. All right, let's have a look at the lyrics now. Here we are, Suicide by Ren. Of course, he writes his own lyrics. Oh, I've fallen through the cracks of the night sky. A light goes out on the other side. Suicide, suicide, suicide. Oh, I'm treading on the tracks in the night time. It never really felt like the right time. So, does he mean the right time for suicide? I think maybe. I think that when you consider suicide, it's a very difficult thing, because biologically we're geared to live, to survive, to keep going. Psychologically too, in many ways at least, even though we feel horribly depressed, and we, on one hand, we want to be dead because it feels like a huge relief, but there's this other hand, or this other side of us, that desperately wants to stay alive and wants to find a solution. Even when we think there is no solution, there's still some thread holding on there. So it never seems like the right time. There's always a reason not to do it. And sometimes you can even get angry at other people because it's like, let me go. Let me have a reason to go. And they don't even know maybe what you're thinking about. Probably not. But you're saying, oh, you know, I don't want this party. I don't want you to have a birthday. I don't want, because I'm ready. I want to go, but I don't want to do that to you, so I have to stay. So it's a pain. It's never the right time. I'm so lonely beneath this narcissistic. Can't keep a secret. Miscount sheep. I can't sleep. A misfit. Some say troubled, but some say sadistic. Bruises my brother one time or the other. My skin felt counterfeit. Silicone rubber. Bruises my sister. Skin pop the blister. Dig deep, resist the feeling when it hits you. So all kinds of emotions and things going on in there, which is what happens when things are messing with us in our minds. So lonely, but also you feel narcissistic sometimes, or other people accuse you of that. I think there is often a bit of a combination going on there. At least speaking of myself, I don't think I'm a narcissist exactly, but there are times when I wonder if there isn't a bit of that going on, combined with the loneliness and depression and anxiety. And sometimes you're lonely and anxious, and but you don't really want to see people. So how do you solve that one? Can't sleeping. Feels like a misfit. I think that happens to a lot of people, but for some it's overwhelming. Some say sadistic. Well, sometimes when you are in that vein, when you're in that deep depression or anxiety or whatever, yeah, you can say and do things that seem a little sadistic sometimes. Um, yeah, bruises. That could be literal bruises from abusing yourself, or also just bruises psychologically. Skin felt counterfeit, don't feel right in your own skin. You're not the real you. You feel like you're somebody else, or you're pretending. Um, yeah, skin pop, the blister deep. So yeah, okay. I think I don't have anything else there. Treading on the tracks. Then there's a clip or a sample from Sick Boy, bitten by a tick boy. So some of his issues, some of his health issues and whatnot came from that, of course. Um, I feel like it's not me, it's the world that's sick. Well, it can be both at the same time. Uh, the fact that the world's sick doesn't mean we're not sick, uh, and there's probably some sort of a combination there, and not necessarily a quick and easy solution either. I'm so washed up and seasick, masochistic kid with a split lip. 6 feet deep, I can't eat, I'm nervous, won't stay down because my body purges. Uh, that can certainly be from the Lyme disease, but also from anxiety, stress, depression. All of those kinds of things can make you sometimes overeat, sometimes not eat because you're not hungry at all. It takes away your appetite. Sometimes makes you sick, makes you vomit, makes you purge, as he says. Useless, my mother can't keep in my supper. Skin so pale because my cheeks leak color. While if you're not able to eat and you're not able to sleep, yeah, your body is going to suffer for sure. Truth is, my father, you choose your karma. Draw for the sword, then drive through the armor. Um, I'm not quite sure what he's talking about with the father there, but someone else maybe can let me know. Maybe there's something I'm not aware of. Um, okay, these lyrics we did look at. It's hard to take off from the ground when your wings are cut. Your stomach burns when you're drinking from an empty cup. You know the entire ocean came from my tear ducts. That's a lot of tears. I see the world through Fibonacci sequences and double Dutch. So, yeah, seeing the world, there's a couple ways you could read that because there is a sort of organization to that, but there is also a sort of chaos or complexity to it as well. Um, so, there's a lot going on there. Can't take off from the ground when your wings are cut. That's true, of course. They do that to some birds so they don't fly away when farming. I guess there's some that's born lucky, there's some that's not. I tried to cut away my bitterness hatchet job. So, yeah, there's this feeling sometimes, and I've had this feeling too, that, oh, that person's just so lucky. Everything falls into their lap. They're just, you know, and others are not. And sometimes I'm feeling sorry for myself, but sometimes I'm looking at other people and feeling sorry for them. Like, why are these people dealing with such horrors, and they seem like such nice people, and these people who sometimes don't seem all that nice seem to get everything given to them in a silver spoon. I'm not sure that that's actually true. There's a little bit of truth to that, but it's not that you're born lucky. Well, maybe because you might be born into a situation or a wealthy family or something like that. But that's not always a guarantee that you're going to come out okay. They can be suicidal as well. They can be depressed, rich, poor, and everything in between. So I don't know that you're born lucky or not lucky. Some people seem to have more luck than others, but there's no fate. I don't believe in fate. I don't believe in God, so I don't believe in any of that. And that's because I believe in you, and I believe in Ren, and I believe in nature, as cruel as it is, but you have to come to accept that, I think, and live with that. And I think that's where some of the issues come um, in some of the lyrics is that um, we need to face the reality, and I think that it can be painful, but it can also be helpful because if you're always holding on to the dream or some ideal that doesn't exist and probably never will, I think you're going to just keep hitting your head against the wall. Then dump the whole thing over the. Oh, I think I missed something here. Uh, I tried to cut away my bitterness. Hatchet job. Yeah, when you try to do that, it usually does end up as a hatchet job. You don't just hit the spots you want, you hit others, and it just gets worse. I think that's what he means there. I locked my youth in a trunk inside a pickup truck, then dumped the whole thing over the same bridge that the night you jumped. Now talking about his friend. This ending is where it gets very, very hard hitting. Brought me to tears, and yeah, because it brings back memories of my own. I think about that sometimes vividly, although my friend did it differently. What it felt like to look down and see tranquility, one sudden movement in a world of possibility, only one movement to expose our fragility. So one jump, one movement, one decision, and he's seeing it vividly, what it felt like to look down and see the tranquility, the calmness, the peace, and you're going toward that peace, right? It's in a sense it's a deceptive beckoning or call. Only one movement to expose our fragility, of course, because you die. I miss you and I miss myself. I miss thinking that we were indestructible. There were some errors in here. I fixed some of them, but I don't want to fix too much because some of it's for artistic reasons, so I have to be careful. But there were some mistakes in here. And I took this from Ren's site. Yeah, people think they're indestructible, particularly young people often think they're indestructible, or your friends are indestructible, or so and so is never going to die, even though you kind of know that's not true, but you want to believe it, so you hold on to that idea. And he misses himself because his friend is gone. There's a piece of him missing, right? There's a piece of you that never comes back. And as you get older, I hate to say it for you younger people, but more and more of that happens. You do adjust a little bit and get kind of used to it, but not really. But pieces of you seem to be missing as more and more people go. I miss chilling by the pier cave and kicking back. And then he gives a list of excuse me, friends, I guess, and lads. I miss missing that. I numbed myself to close the gap. So he blocked himself off. I miss missing it, meaning I need to recollect it sometimes, but I block it off sometimes because I can't handle it, right? So, but that doesn't work. I don't find that works anyways. It works for a little while. It might be able to get you through. Maybe you can get you through your workday and then come home and crash, but it doesn't work long term, and it ends up hurting more, I think, when you try to numb yourself. I never even call them up the distance in my plaster cast. The truth is that the day you jumped, my childhood jumped too, but I still can't find the anger. All I find is missing you. Okay. All right, so I have to block for a moment just so I can get through this. Yeah, don't be angry. You can't be angry at somebody who does this. I don't. Well, you can be. I mean, your emotions are your emotions, so you have to feel them and you have to go through them, and sometimes that's one of them. But the truth is, if someone is in that much pain, I can't fault them if they make this decision. And if it's a last minute decision and they jump or whatever they do, uh, anger will not resolve it. Anger will not help. It wouldn't have helped before either to be angry probably, but um, yeah, you don't have to feel anger, that's for sure. And if you don't, feel lucky, because I think it's better not to. I think miss the person, yes, for sure. Uh, and try to cope with all of the emotions that you have to go through. That's the problem. The people that are left are the ones that have to suffer more and have to go through all of that. It's very difficult. But I think the person who did it was also suffering to the point where they made this decision. So I feel more empathetic toward them than angry. Man, I miss you with all my rhymes. I picture running 5 minutes quicker. I'm right on time. So feeling that he should have been there. Now, whether that is literal or not, I'm not sure. But sometimes, even after the fact, when if we could step back and look at it objectively, there's no possible way we could have been there. Or yeah. So I don't know. But even if you could have been or would have been, it isn't. Nature, as I say, is cruel. Accept it. I'm sure you did your best when you could do your best, and that's all you can do. I picture pulling you back over the edge, and then we're crying. We are crying, I think it's supposed to say, and holding you, my brother, and telling you that it's fine. That's not the way that I worked because I was late like a jerk. There's not a day where I could find a way to break from the hurt. Your body missing, so we never got to wave to the hearse. I hope you're listening. I love you, man. I miss you, absurd. So, yeah, sometimes, you put blame on yourself. Could I have done more? Could I have done something else? I've rolled that over in my mind, not just with the suicide, but with even with my wife's death. You think, was there more we could have done? Is there something else that could have happened? And there really wasn't, but you do roll it over and over in your mind and wonder. But I would suggest don't blame yourself for something someone else decided on. There's all kinds of reading it. You could even read that pulling them back would have been the wrong thing in some ways, and something else could have happened, or you both could have gone over. So we want to find a blame point. We want to find some kind of solution, even if it's just a imaginary one. But sometimes it is what it is, and it's sad. It's incredibly sad. Will continue to be a hole, but we have, I think, to find our way. I'm pretty sure that's the end. Yeah, we have to find our way through it and around it and out of it, and doesn't mean it's over. Doesn't mean the pain's gone. It doesn't mean you don't miss this person incredibly. But remember, as he does a little bit in the lyrics here and in some of his others, he remembers the good times. He remembers the fun times. Uh, the fact is we're not invincible, and at one point or another, if you're not the one to go, then you're going to lose people around you, naturally or not. So, yeah, it's these are great lyrics, wonderful lyrics. He's working things through. He's talking about something that needs to be talked about, and he's doing it in a very elegant way. And then the way he presents it through his voice, through his music, and the videographer and the people who worked on the artwork and all of that did an amazing job, really wonderful job. Uh, I loved it. I really did love it. It's again, Ren just rises to the top, doesn't he? He's such an amazing guy. Let me know what you think, about anything really, but particularly about Ren, about the song, etc. Also, let me know what else you would like to hear. I'm still working up the list of Ren from his older songs and moving forward. We've done some of the newer ones previously. Some of them might not be great because in the beginning I had audio issues and whatnot. So I might even redo some of those ones when we get to them, as we move up the list of videos on his site. Make sure to go to his channel, support Ren, of course. I'm sure you will if you haven't already. In the meantime, it's Ron from RJJ's Reactions. Thanks for watching. Bye bye for now.